Hi friends, I am so excited to share the flip through of this Secret Garden altered book junk journal with you. I was inspired by my friends Photography Makes, Sharon Shine, Rosemary U Rock Art, and Colleen C2 Serendipity because they sent me ephemera and requested that I do a garden journal. Now, Janet with Photography Makes sent me the Secret Garden book, and I'm so grateful that she did because this has been such a fun project. I will be sure to link my friends' channels in my description box. So I wanted to thank all of you ladies for your contributions and beautiful goodies that you will find inside of this journal. As you can see, I made a tassel that coordinates with it, and I want to let you know it is available in my Etsy shop. I also want to mention to you that this is my design team project for Line Dot Arrow for the month of April. I used her beautiful kit, Spring Bloom Vintage Journal Pages. I will have the kit listed in my description box, as well as all of Natalie's links. In a previous video, I showed how I disassembled the original book. This book was binded with glue, so I showed how I used my heat gun to take the signatures apart and then also to take the pages apart. I will be sure to put that video in my description box in case you'd like to see it. In this journal, you are going to see the original book cover, the original book pages, scrapbook paper, digital kit pages, vintage magazine pages, lots of flips. I did a lot of flip outs in this journal. I put in lace trim, fabric trim, coffee dyed paper, as you just saw here. That's some of my pink coffee dyed paper. There are also several sheets of my eco dyed paper. There was one in the beginning of the video. There's another, I think there's a couple more coming up, and I'll be sure to point those out to you. I wanted to let you know that I kept the book intact. Well, I took it apart and then I put it back together, but everything is in chronological order, and I tried to cover any of the original book pages minimally. You can see here I attached a pocket, but it's a small pocket and you can still see the image from the book. I tried to do that as much as possible while still creating plenty of space for journaling. Now, I want to share this with you. This is an Edith Holden book page, and I'm very proud of myself for putting several of these in this journal because my friend Carol at Recrafted by Carol sent me an Edith Holden book, and I've been hoarding it ever since she sent it to me. But I thought this was the perfect journal to put some of those pages since it is a secret garden journal. Also, I'll mention to you that this story has four main, I guess, chapters, if you will. Well, seasons. We'll call it seasons. There's spring, summer, fall, and winter, and it starts with summer and ends with summer. But these pages from the Edith Holden book, like for example, this is November, which I do believe is still fall. So I made sure to put that in the fall section of the journal. Another thing I did with the journal was I really tried to match the pages from the kit and also how I embellished it according to the season. I also want to mention my friend BB at BB's Closet Creations. She sent me this deep, rich purple trim that I used throughout the journal, and also some of the ephemera, and I just showed you a piece of it there. Here is another piece of my eco dye, and if you look at the page you can see the plant imprint on it. I want to make more of that. I've had these eco dyed papers that I made for about a year. I've been sort of hoarding them, but I'm ready to make more. So maybe in a few months, maybe this summer, I can go ahead and make some more. Here's another flip out coming up. I think this is about the third one. I tried to make a lot of them in this journal just for something a little bit different. So we must be in winter now because that page from the Edith Holden book said January. There are several pages that I put into the journal from a 1954 Popular Mechanics magazine. I absolutely love the old advertisements, so I thought that'd be fun to pop in the journal. Whoever gets this journal, they can use that to create ephemera. They can just keep it in there for just a nostalgic feel, but it's just a fun addition to the journal, I think. Each of my friends sent me some ephemera for this journal, and of course, everybody has their own style and likes. So I found it to be a lot of fun to work in all of their pieces. And it was cool that this book has 4 seasons. So, no matter what they sent me, whether it was maybe darker in color or maybe lighter, whatever, it had a special place in this journal. So I think it all came together really nicely. Look at this Alka-Seltzer commercial. How great is that? I know it's got nothing to do with gardening, but these advertisements are just too good not to share. I did put bead dangles at the bottom of each of the signatures tied onto the wax thread. This yellow butterfly is vintage. It's from the late 70s to early 80s, and it was actually an image that was on a check box from when we would get checks from the bank. So I went ahead and I cut that out. I've had it for about 2 years now, and finally excited to have a project where the color palette worked and I could use it. This blue butterfly was given to me in Happy Mail, and it is such a beautiful addition to this journal. Some of you might remember the video where I showed how I created some unique pages using paper napkin, torn pages from books, stamps. What else did I use? I maybe did some stenciling. So there are several of those pages in this journal as well. I have also included a very delicate vintage doily. Here's another sheet of that pretty paper that I made, and I really love the effect that the paper napkin has on it. If I remember, I will link that video in my description box in case you're interested in seeing how I did that. Here you can see that I embellished this pocket with some, it's not really fabric, it was a super wide trim. It's what I used on the spine as well. And then on top of that I put some finer trim with a nice light green color to it. I had a piece of scrap of that same trim, so I went ahead and made a page tab out of it. You guys know, if you're familiar with my channel, that I sometimes print out the digital kit pages onto the back of scrapbook paper, but in this case for this journal I did not do that. I printed the digital kit on both sides of the copy paper. I created this pocket using a vintage library card, and that is actually attached to another pocket which flips out, as you can see, and I have stuffed that with a gardening postcard. I have attached a flip to this upper pocket. It opens up like that, and it's an envelope that I put a little piece of ephemera inside. There's another small envelope here that was given to me in Happy Mail. I turned it into a flip, and you can see that I stuffed it with some ephemera. I lined many of the pages with lace, but this particular page I lined with a strip of fabric. I feel like there's plenty of journaling space in this journal. However, if you wanted to create more, you could take paper and adhere it to the top of some of the book pages, and that way you would have more journaling space if you needed it. If you only adhered it to the top, you could still flip that paper up and see the book page underneath. This is a vintage book page, and it says compendium on the top, so I thought that was a perfect addition to the journal. My friend Kathy of Kathy's Favorite Things gave me the beautiful purple flower that is in the upper left-hand corner. There's another flip out here, and inside of it is a pretty greeting card, and it has an M on it. And the name of this book is The Secret Garden, Mary's Journal. So the M works great. On this pocket, on the bottom right, I have attached a wax seal. And we have a vintage greeting card that can be journaled on or can be sent to a friend. I added this purple piece of cardstock here and then embellished it, and I left it plain because it's light enough that it could be journaled on, or you could add a photo to it, or you could add a piece of paper and then journal on top of that. But I wanted to leave enough space in this journal where you had a lot of creative freedom. This is the other half of the vintage book page, and I attached a small pocket and a palm tree playing card, and that was given to me in Happy Mail. And I used a palm tree because we are now in the second part of the summer section of this journal. I absolutely love this vintage advertisement. It says honey of a mower, and there's a lady and she is standing in front of this lawnmower. That's from 1954. Also a page from the Popular Mechanics magazine that I have. That magazine is one of the best pieces of vintage ephemera that I have ever purchased because the advertisements are fabulous. Beginning on the sixth signature, we have a vintage doily, and then we have a vintage envelope that is a flip out, and I just stuffed it with some lined paper. And then attached to the book page is a vintage receipt. Look at this adorable pig. It's so cute. I just picked up this card from a new thrift store that I recently found. Oh, I want to mention that that flower was created by my friend Gwen of Gwen Offit Designs, and I purchased it in her Etsy shop. This adorable flamingo card was given to me by my friend Soleil at Soleil & Craft. Friends, that is the entire journal. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I know this was quite a flip through, but look how many pages are in this journal. It's absolutely amazing. I think it's probably one of the biggest ones I've ever made. It was such a joy to create. It is available in my Etsy shop. Thanks for watching. See you soon.